All right, let's dive into the story of a chess player who honestly was more of an artist, a fighter, a complete force of nature than just a grandmaster. We're going to pull back the curtain on the legend of Mikhail Tal, a guy who played chess with pure, unfiltered fire. And this quote, it tells you everything you need to know. It perfectly captures that audacious, almost reckless spirit of the man they call the magician from Riga. You see, he wasn't playing the same game as everyone else. No, he was creating a brand new one with every single move. So, to really get a handle on Tal, you first have to understand the terrifying myth he built around himself. It was this reputation for just chaotic, unpredictable genius that could paralyze even the world's best players before they'd even made a single move. Yeah. His opponents talked about this feeling of dread, of being pulled into a game where the normal rules of logic just didn't seem to apply. They knew they were stepping into his world. And in Tal's world, the board was a battlefield of the imagination. And this was his whole philosophy, right? Victory through just overwhelming complexity and psychological pressure, not some kind of perfect, flawless calculation. He absolutely thrived in the chaos where other players would just panic because he believed that in the fog of war, the braver player, well, they would always win. I mean, what a quote. This was his entire goal, to turn the chessboard into a place of beautiful, terrifying chaos. He wasn't looking for the single correct move. No, he was trying to create a position so insanely complex that the correct move was literally impossible for a human being to find. Okay, so let's talk about his rise. Tao's journey from being basically an unknown player to the absolute peak of the chess world happened in just a few short years. It was so fast, it almost seemed to defy reality itself. I mean, just look at this timeline. His rise was absolutely breathtaking. He just swept through the strongest tournaments in the world, dismantling legends as he went. Winning the Soviet championship ones was a huge deal. Winning it back-to-back, that was almost unheard of. And he did all this at just 23 years old. 23! The chaos magician had conquered the entire chess world. He'd taken his philosophy of fire and imagination all the way to the top. It really seemed like there was nothing he couldn't do. But here's the thing, that myth, that was only half the story. The reality behind the magician's cape was one of intense struggle, of real human frailty. And this is where we get to see the real face behind that larger-than-life caricature. The rematch was a total clash of philosophies. You had Botvinnik, the disciplined scientist who had spent an entire year dissecting Tal's magic, trying to find the logic behind the madness. And this time, his scientific approach just crushed Tal's unprepared artistry. Tal lost the title after only 1 year. And this was the real face behind the caricature we were talking about. A man in constant pain, whose health struggles would define his career way more than any single loss ever could. The fearless attacker on the board was, in reality, a frail man fighting this relentless war inside his own body. So for a lot of historians, this is where the story of Tal's greatness just ends. The magician's brief, brilliant reign was over. But you know what? They couldn't be more wrong. The true story was really just beginning. Because what happened next is what revealed Tal's true magic. It wasn't found in his short time as champion, but in his incredible, decades-long resilience against opponents both on the board and, well, within himself. So, did he just fade away? Not a chance. He remained a fearsome competitor at the absolute highest level for another quarter of a century. I mean, he was qualifying for candidates tournaments against players half his age and winning world championships in blitz. He just kept creating beauty on the board. And get this, in 1992, just days after getting out of the hospital, he beat the reigning world champion Garry Kasparov. His spirit was simply unstoppable. Kasparov himself was shocked. He later said it was like Tal's sickness made him even stronger, freeing him from any fear of consequences. It was just pure, unadulterated passion for the game. So, what's the takeaway from all this? Tal's legacy isn't just about a world title. It's about a philosophy of creativity and courage. It's a reminder that the human spirit can burn so brightly, even when it's facing immense struggle. And that's it, isn't it? He proved that chess wasn't just a science, it was an art form. It was a place for imagination, for inspiration, and for breathtaking beauty. He showed us that you don't play chess just to win, you play to create something truly memorable. And that is the timeless lesson of Mikhail Tal, that sometimes bravery creates its own kind of magic. He played for beauty, for the absolute thrill of the fight. And in doing so, he became immortal.